Wait, there's the... Wait. Yeah, test on. Oh, that's how I can end it. Oh. I'm stupid.
Stupid.
Well, I think so. Now it's bugged.
Amen.
Oh, there you go.
I'll just leave it running for a minute. To be fair, I haven't actually watched this yesterday. I was too busy playing, so now's the time.
I mean, I would have.
You would have?
I would have, but I had someone shouting at my ear.
Oh.
I'd be a pain in my ass.
Yeah, my bad.
I wonder what that could be.
Corey, innit?
No. Someone else in cool.
Definitely Corey. For sure, bro.
No, it's you pig! No.
Hey.
Oh.
Let's see what's new with 5. Let's go, let's go, let's go. DVD news and updates. Oh, hey, let's go, let's get it.
I'm glad you don't have anyone shouting down to you.
Huh?
So I'm glad you don't have anyone shouting down to you.
Now you can watch it with me now. You can watch it with me now, what on Says. Oh, there's a...
I got you twice in a row.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, true.
Welcome back to another Dead by Daylight live stream.
And I got you
I'm
myself.
one of your hosts, Dork, and I hope you all enjoyed that
I
starting
hate you on my
screen. That
voice
is
so
my
much.
magnum opus at the
Same.
moment. I don't know if I can outdo myself with that, but
I've
had
I
some of
really
this
enjoyed
part,
making it for you
some
all,
of
and I
this
hope you all
part.
enjoyed it. I am obviously
okay.
not here by myself. I am joined by the wonderful Mandy.
Hi, welcome.
Hello, Mandy.
And today we're going to be starting off with talking about our news and updates here. So to start off the top of the show, we'll be talking about the upcoming event, which is going to be TwitchCon 2026 in Rotterdam. I will be there along with one of our people from Influence Management, Kate, as many of you have come to know. I'm super excited to be meeting you all there in Rotterdam. Super excited to be flown out again. I cannot wait to be there and meet you all. We've also got 2 events that are going to be happening during that time frame. One being the Dead by Daylight Transformation Special Effects Makeup with mcroft07, and the other being Horror Games Community Meetup conjured by Dead by Daylight. So
I want to go
really
to a horror
excited
con
for those 2 events, and I'm going to be making some content there as well. So if you would like to be in some DVD content,
I want to go to a horror con.
me.
They did one down in
Next up,
Scotland
we'll
before.
have the cosmetic contest coming back, the
Oh,
Design a Cosmetic
Ooh.
contest, and the... Oh my gosh, sorry. I heard a phantom in the fog. But the campfire is set for that once again this year, and we'll be starting that off with
Okay, so they're doing the cosmetic contest again.
So keep an eye out for the announcement post going live about that. Without further ado, we've got Mandy with 2 other updates.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dork. So yesterday, as you all know, we've had a ban wave this week.
Off my screen.
I'm going to address that briefly now.
Unless it never did it, it was been.
Yesterday, we unbanned many accounts. And
Yeah. So, did you hear about that? So, they went on a massive ban spree, right? It's because, the cosmetics. And, like, killers.
People are buying them from
like
different websites and
that's
shit.
it, like GT keys and all sorts like that. Or GT games and CD keys and that. So if
Luckily, I didn't do any of that.
Nah, same. So if you do it from like a third-party place, you'll get a permaban.
Use authorized sellers when you're purchasing content within the game. For Dead by Daylight, use an authorized seller. Go to the website. At the bottom, very bottom of the website, you will see the list. It's the images, the icons of the authorized retailers. Keep your accounts safe, please. I implore you. Everybody who did get banned, the unban has happened. You will be unbanned fully on the 12th.
That's it, the temporary ban.
12 p.m. 11th. Was it? Sorry. 12 at 1 p.m. Thank you. See, I should have written a note down. I can never remember times. Thank you.
Same, don't I?
And the other thing is that we're aware that the recent hotfixes, there has been quite a few crashes. So on Steam, and I'm sorry we can only do this on the Steam platform, we have put out a small fix yesterday. It's on the extra branch. So where you go to join a PTB, you can join this special branch instead, just to test out those fixes. That is going to really, really help us. It's ahead of hotfix 2, so we can see if these things are actually working, because they're really difficult to repro from our side, but players are really struggling with it. So if you can go onto that branch, test it out and let us know. If you can comment on Steam, forums, Twitter, Reddit, Discord, we're getting it all from there. So please, thank you.
What I could do is I could do an hour stream of watching the full thing of this, and then I could do an hour of gameplay then.
Thank you.
Yeah, that'll be
All
fine.
right. So with
Should
that
work out
news
good, shouldn't it?
given to you,
No.
here at the top of the show,
Alright,
we're going
Tal.
to be transitioning over into the Grimoire, where we're going to have Jeff
What do you want,
come onto the couch and sit down with Mandy to talk some more. So see you soon.
Ooh, the Grimoire. I'm actually kind of hyped for that killer, you know.
Of course you want to play the killer.
Yeah, true. It's gonna be like interesting. I'm really intrigued. Second monitor would be so good for this, because I can have DPD just open on this screen, and then that playing on the other screen.
Yeah, that would be kind of sick, I like. Like, go work what we go work with.
True, true. Did you get the monitor?
And
No.
come back.
We couldn't have money left.
Ah, right, okay.
Who are you?
Well, I've upgraded from being homeless.
Oh, good. I'm
yeah,
glad.
Yeah. Hi guys, I'm Jeff, senior game designer working on the Grimoire Killer, known as the
Oh,
Judgment,
nice.
and I'm
Okay.
here to give you a quick rundown of updates and a little recap on the Discord staging that we had last week. Was it?
It was. It was last
week.
Friday.
Yeah, because there was some information there that I thought would be interesting for those of you who couldn't make it. So hopefully you'll find it interesting.
Yep. Nice recap.
Right, I have the clicker.
I'm intrigued
the
to find
power.
out about this killer.
Oh, now.
And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
survivor I
Yeah,
haven't heard much about,
Get to the right.
so it'd be nice to
slide.
share.
Okay, this is the right slide. So,
Man, I didn't get
Right,
to watch it
what
fully.
have we
This is
been
the part I
up to?
got up to.
Well,
Oh, was
I'm
it?
happy to say that full production
Nice,
for the
it's on.
Grimoire has officially started a
Oops.
couple weeks back, actually, and it's like full speed ahead. There's a lot of stuff happening, and it's really great to see the different teams integrate their stuff, because that's where you see like the puzzle pieces kind of like fall together.
It's like a jigsaw.
It's
And
the
cool.
best part of it. And one thing I will note just ahead of my next section is that by this time, usually the programmers who were working on the prototype are now full-time on the implementation to make sure that they, put it up to snuff for what we would want in a release. However, I do have some good news about that, so stick around. And yes, talking about the integration, there's some really cool stuff that you'll be able to see after my segment, so I encourage you to stick around because it's really, really neat.
And there's a vote.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
true. There's also a vote
So
on
you gotta
something
vote.
really cool. So, don't take my word for it. Just stick around and you'll see.
Yeah.
So, right.
I gotta say, I love that you said up to snuff, up to snuff. This is just my new favorite expression.
Before I move on into my slides, I have a couple bullet points here because I'm very forgetful, like you are.
Same, let's go.
Can't
So,
read it.
Forgetful
you
gang.
don't have your contacts on.
I
So.
know. Contactless, yeah.
The first thing I'll say is that, thank you for sharing all your feedback on all the Grimoire development. It's been super helpful. We had the content creator preview, then we had their reaction, and then we had your follow-up reaction, and there was a lot of threads. I totally did not spend a lot of time on Reddit reading everything, refreshing every 5 minutes. I did not.
You are not allowed to do that.
But I wanted to say thank you because it's really helpful. And like when we say that we need the feedback, it is very genuine. We need the feedback to know what we need to address. And I think that what we'll show today,
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I think
I
it's
think
cool.
it's very cool.
So with that feedback, we kind of like brainstormed, okay, what could we do to address that feedback? And obviously, we can't address everything because we have a timeline to follow. Like when the prototype is over, it's a bit difficult to implement like more complex things. So unfortunately, sometimes we have to make really tough decisions to just move on because our production cannot be at risk for these kinds of things. But like I said, there's some really cool solutions that we found to a couple of issues that I'm really proud of because, like I said, usually programmers move on to implementation and they kind of leave the designer to fine-tune balancing and all that stuff. But I am happy to say that I took it upon myself to try to implement changes on my own.
I'm proud of you.
It was a mess. It was a mess, and there was lots of bugs, and it was a bit of a headache to try to figure out. But I managed to get some really cool stuff done, and that meant that we could de-risk these things for production, and now we're like on track. Obviously, all of these things are subject to change because the product is not final and done, but it's really positive so far. So I'll show you a bit of that. And yeah, so we tested many times the things that we thought about. So like all the different solutions, we tested it internally. We shared it with our consultants. We got some good feedback, and they will be playtesting it very soon as well. So we'll get even more feedback from their playtest of actually like trying it. And yeah,
We might grab something from that and see what we can show as well.
that'd be really cool.
That would be fun.
Really
yeah,
cool.
we'll see what we can do.
Okay, I think that's that's all my points. Okay, so that's a new clicker. Right. So the first thing that I want to show is we have a new shrine activation. Sorry, the clicker, click. Okay, there we go. So in the prototype that the content creators got to preview, the shrines would all activate, which meant that as a survivor, you could literally save your teammates without really any risk.
Exactly, yeah.
So one of the things that we did to try to improve the killer's macro strategy is to make it so that the two closest shrines from the killer, when they banish the survivor, are the ones that activate. So I think you'll be able to see it in this video. Is it? Yeah, okay, it's playing. So you see here, see the bubbles showing you which two shrines were activated. And then the only way to save your friends in exile is to go to the shrines and perform the interaction, whatever you call it. Right now
that's gonna be interesting, because the thing is, know how they say you have to go to the shrine?
Yeah.
Basically, if I'm correct, I think I seen something about it yesterday, I believe. What it are? See if like we're playing with randoms.
Yeah.
If the new killer takes us, I think, to the new, to that other place, our team, we have to rely on our team to get us out of it by going to those shrines.
So what that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Interaction, but all of these names are internal. Same thing for controlled pillar, flung
I
pillar.
don't know if I hope so on our team.
It's
No,
temporary names.
Neither do I, bro.
Narrative cooks up some really cool and creative terms for them.
They don't let me do that because
I
we have the words fling.
I don't know what will happen
I don't think
if they don't do it,
they probably wouldn't.
but I can't see it being a good thing.
Right, so
We'll be stuck in there forever, probably.
Stuck in
Number
it
two
forever.
is this is from
Wait,
a lot
that's
of our
Plague.
internal playtests and also with our consultants and external playtests with our playtest squad. One of the things that people kept saying is, if I save people from exile, I want them to be respawned at my
Hold
shrine.
up.
So over here, you might have a bit of trouble seeing it because
Do you
all
just
the
see
names
that?
are overlapping. But there were 3 names in exile, and I saved them, and they. Right, so that
Watch this
was
now.
number one.
This is what
Number
happens
two
when you
is,
repent to save
this
the
is
others.
From a lot of our internal playtests and also with our consultants and external playtests with our playtest squad, one of the things that people kept saying is, if I save people from exile, I want them to be respawned at my shrine. So over here, you might have a bit of trouble seeing it because all the megs are overlapping, but there
They'll
were 3 megs
spawn
in
at the
exile,
shrine.
and I saved them, and they all reappeared at that shrine. Obviously, they're not going to be stacked on top of each other like that.
Yes, if that guy's been
I want
tunneled
to see them
or
stacked
being
again.
followed by the killer,
So
then
the idea here is
Yeah.
that there is a bigger risk to go save
Hold
your
up.
friends, but when
Yeah.
you do, they're all going to be with you. And
So, is this for the new killer, or is this for Plague? Because that's a Plague shrine.
that's the new killer.
Huh. So I'm guessing they're using that as a model.
you'll be able to, help them reset or let them
either
run away.
that or that's
because,
actually
they might
it.
want to not heal right
Not
there.
Ah,
Because the killer
That's
does get a
interesting.
notification when the prayer happens or when it's completed, kind of like an unhook, right? So
Okay, so
this
yeah,
is
same
also
thing.
to help with macro gameplay, because that was a very big point of feedback that we kept getting. And as I said before, when feedback is consistent, we should probably do something about it.
Yeah.
So the next thing, which I saw a lot of people being
Spirit.
very excited about,
I
is
saw quite a bit about this myself.
no taunting allowed. So I
Wait,
think
what?
this is a bit of a lengthier video, but please bear with me. So over here you see Dwight, being a little naughty, pointing at the killer, trying to tease them.
I'm amazed you didn't use a Neo zebra pants.
Funny you
What?
should say that, because I did consider adding a sin for having zebra pants.
Oh, thank you very much. That's just to get at me, isn't
I
it?
couldn't
yeah,
figure it out,
I
but
knew
I really
it.
thought about it.
Me and Hans, we'd be stuck.
So here you could see Dwight pointing at the killer, he got sin. Dwight teabagging at the killer, he got sinned. And then staying at the exit gates for too long, he also got sinned. And of course, I'm not going to spoil everything, because there should still be a little bit of surprises with this whole thing. So stick around, you maybe find out later.
So,
Now I'm scared because I don't know.
so basically, if you taunt, teabag, stay at the gate for too long, at that killer, you'll sin, which I'm guessing, I don't know why, I've got a weird feeling is going to give you the exposed effect. I'm just going to guess.
Okay, the next one is
If you
sin
let them
anger.
explain, shut the fuck
So
up,
this,
Dan.
Hey?
maybe I should have
Probably.
these 2
I'll be
slides. So the
Nah,
reason
I
why
wouldn't.
this
That
is
would
here
stop
is
you from
you
getting
may
out
have
the
seen
gate.
from the Discord staging that we have the skill check
imagine.
penalty when you have sin. So
I'll just be toxic
a
and
lot of
diabolical.
us,
Yeah, that,
long-time DD players will remember Old
Diabolical.
Ruin.
We don't use the word scene with this and me.
Sorry, I got something in my eye. Making me tear up thinking about the good
I'm
old
making
days.
him cry. I'm so
Imagine if,
sorry. I've made our guests
other
cry.
killers,
And so
because
the
that
idea
one
with this
you
is
get
that
a sin.
used
What
to
if
be
with
an
other
instant
killers you
removal.
get
So when you pray,
a damage,
maybe
so you
that's...
become injured?
Well, maybe that's what I mean by... Maybe that's what I mean by the surprise. So it's not just,
Well,
you
if that's
know...
a surprise, I'll be peed.
Yeah, I'll be fuming, mate.
at a shrine to
Because
save
imagine
your
if you're
teammates, or
already
if
injured, you
went to a shrine to remove
teabag,
your sin, it was just gone.
straight, because you're
And
nowhere near
for
the gate, you
playtesting with
teabag, and
I'm going to call it the
you
old
go
rune
into
effect,
the
sorry.
crawling
With the
state,
old
you'll be
rune effect is
fucked.
that it didn't really get to
That'd be diabolical.
be impactful because
You
players
start,
could just walk
you
to a
start
shrine and remove
teabagging,
it.
you fall on the floor, you're
So
like,
what
hey,
we're doing
hey,
now
hey, try to get
is
to the gate,
it's
and you
gonna be a
get
little
picked
sped
up.
but
Oh, I'd be
when you
fuming.
pray at a shrine or when you save your friends, it will decrease over time. Right now it's about 60 seconds. Obviously it's not final, but it depletes over
Never
time,
seen
which
you understand
guarantees
the
the
game
killer will get
so
benefit from
quick.
that effect, right? Because it is a
Yeah.
secondary effect, but it's still an effect that they apply.
Wait, these
through
are
different
scary
means.
effect.
Which I should probably mention. You can still apply sin with your pillar, right, with your active power. That's not changed.
Okay.
But the taunting is like I thought it was very fitting, for the judgment to punish
It does.
survivors.
It is.
I mean, that
it
does make
fits with
sense.
that theme,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I like that.
Right. So here's
Wonder
the
if the
little
developers
recap
come on board.
from the Discord
maybe.
staging. This is what the skill check penalty
That's I
looks
wonder.
like.
I wonder.
So you'll have a different visual for the skill check.
What?
If you hit the good zone, which is the darker zone, you'll actually lose progression on your repair.
Oh, hold up. So if you're sinned... Okay, I pause at a good part. So if you sin, basically... See this?
Mm.
That red, if you hit the red, I'm guessing the black part of here, I'm guessing it'll regress your gen, but if you hit the thick red part, it'll continue. Hey, good morning. Hope you're doing well.
Progress. But if you hit the
That's
great
gonna be
one,
hella fun
you're all
there.
good.
That's going to be a bit of a pain, that.
You know what I'm going to ask.
No, I don't.
Is the color going to change?
Oh, well, obviously this is from the prototype stream. So what
Yeah.
I did for this is I literally just took Old Ruin and slapped it on.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yes, there's discussions for UX happening of like how to properly show this.
Perfect.
Different color is definitely on the table.
Thank
But I'll
you.
leave it to them to figure that out. I know it's a very, very good topic to cover.
It's hard because I'm colorblind at that, so yeah.
Yeah, that's. I think Old Ruin was problematic because of that. But I think we've done a lot of.
We won't.
Hey,
We've come
that's
a long way.
amazing.
Yes,
I'm
we
glad
have.
to hear, man.
So here,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
not too
really
bad.
showing
Just watching
anything
the
new, but I
stream
just
from Dead
wanted
by
to take
Daylight
this
yesterday,
opportunity to
having a
show
catch
what
up
kind
of what's new and what's to
controls
come.
and hits you could get with the power. So there's various check spots. There's no check spots. It's just really to give you an idea of how it functions when you're playing it. And I think there's what I like is we had a playtest yesterday, and one of
Oh,
our
that's gonna be
user
like
research
that's gonna be like
colleagues
Joe.
was using the power in a very like interesting way. I
that
have
power
never seen
reminds
anyone use
me
the power like that, and I was
sort of like
damn, this guy gets it.
the
It was so cool to
Houndmaster,
see.
where you
That's
control the
gonna be
dog, you know.
fun then.
I'm not gonna say anything, but play around with it.
Oh, I was
and,
thinking about
figure
like Joe.
Figure it out. It's so cool. It's so much fun. And
I meant the Killer Joe, by the way.
at one point, I think it's maybe after this one, I'll give an example of a new empowered fling.
Okay.
No, not
which is
JoJo,
really
but the
cool
Killer
because what I
Joe.
did is
Oh,
I
yeah.
made it so that at the very start you can fling it.
You can fling
You
it?
can control it after you flung it. So it's kind of like you know how Hillbilly has like a small window to do a
Yeah.
curve at the
That's
start.
Yeah, I
It's
feel like that's gonna be
similar to
overpowered.
that.
Okay.
So it's like when you press it up,
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if that's frozen on me or not, or if that's just generally he's held it there.
this one to fling it, you have a split-second window where you can control it.
Oh
and it
yeah,
feels
for
really
sure, bro.
snappy.
This
But
killer
when
is gonna be insane.
At first, I was trying keeping full control of the pillar during
I
the
don't know
fling,
if it's
but
froze.
that
Is it?
was like, it was a mess. Like it was
I'm
so
not going
difficult
crazy.
to balance. But with this,
No,
it
it's just
becomes a
talking
very skilled
about
Ah,
it.
okay.
The pause
because
at a
it
weird
requires you
point.
to,
I don't know
you
why.
know,
I mean, I
Yeah.
haven't seen this,
one,
but I
time
saw
it, but
that.
also know where
fried
to
me.
aim it. And
Oh.
so far from my testing, it feels really, really good. And I'm really curious to see what our consultants will think, and also what players will think once they get to try it.
I wonder how much
Looking
they
forward
sell
to
that
that.
locker for.
And finally,
I would
this
love
is the last bit of the Discord staging.
I'd
The
sleep
previous
in it,
one
mate.
wasn't, like
I'll
I
sleep
said,
in
my
our locker.
slides were messed up. I apologize.
Like a vampire.
But this is just another showcase of the empowered fling. So I'm going to fling it at the corner, and then I'm going to turn it
What?
to the right. And usually
Empowered
when you
fling.
fling it, it just goes in a straight line. So you can really see the difference of the empowered pillar versus the regular one.
What? Dude,
Okay.
this killer's gonna be a.
The next
Do you know
slide.
what? When it comes
The
out,
next slide is
I'm
really cool.
testing it
really
right
good.
away.
It's really cool. And
When it comes out, I'll be livid.
before I switch to the next
I'll be
slide,
livid.
I'm just gonna
We
do
should
my
try and get
part,
the same
so I'm
game
gonna make sure I
again.
don't miss anything
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
this.
that'd be cool.
So this is something that we have been talking about for a long time. Our UX
I'll definitely do a
designers have
video
been,
on that
you know,
killer for
discussing
sure.
This for, I don't remember how long, but a long time.
Let's
And
not go
with
too
this
sweaty.
killer, I saw an opportunity
Come on.
to try this out because in the past, for example, for Trickster, right?
Yeah.
Trickster, you've got your controls while you're aiming your blades and you know throwing them. But for a controller, what it is we set an arbitrary modifier on that control. And what I mean by that is that, so as a designer, I will go in the editor and test what kind of modifier feels right to me with a controller. But that's to me.
To you.
And that is
Yeah.
not everyone
Okay.
else. And so that is a very big problem. And I'm so happy to say that the Judgment will be our first killer where we explore having a unique setting for controlling their pillar. So
So good. Like, this is a great quality of life feature.
That could be a
Yeah,
W,
just
you know, for
controlling
console
it.
players.
production, can we show the slide, please? Thank you.
There we go. Thank you.
There we go. So you can see here, it's going to live in the beta tab, but you'll have the ability to control
Oh, hold
the
up. Controller sensitivity modifier, mouse sensitivity modifier for the Judgment pillar control. Ooh, okay. This will be interesting.
for mouse or for controller, and it's going to be on top of your regular sensitivity setting. So if player A has their normal sensitivity setting set to 50% and player B has their normal sensitivity to 100%, that modifier will be on top of that. It will not replace it.
Okay.
So it's really like catered to your specific preference for sensitivity
Ah,
controls.
that's pretty
I
cool,
think that's why
actually.
it's so cool, and I am
Yeah,
beyond
that's
excited
W.
to have this. Finally,
yeah,
because
I'm so happy that's in.
it's not only great for players, but it's also good for us to validate. Like, hey, does this work? Can we support this?
Yeah.
And then if we can find ways to expand it and apply it to other killers in the future. So
No, that sounds perfect. And it is something that you're going to look at putting out
yes,
to other killers.
yes.
It's not just going to
Yeah, in the future for sure.
Well,
But right now, that's like the testing grounds. Like we're giving it a shot. We're seeing
Yeah.
what the reaction is. We're seeing how it works. What can we improve in the way that we implement it, and then we'll see how to roll it out to other killers afterwards. 'Cause
Perfect.
I know the UX team is like, we want this.
Yeah, I think we all want this, and I think it's brilliant for our console players
Yeah.
because like I play Survivor on a controller, but I play Killer on keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe now I can just like sit back in my with my controller and play Killer.
So,
So that would be cool.
I agree.
okay, there's a big chance
Okay,
that console
so
players could be even like
Next steps for
even more
for me
godly
and the
than
team
PC
working
is.
on the Grimoire.
Console.
So we have
Yeah, so like
feature complete.
there's a chance now that console could become more like even like godlier, same as like PC, because now they also have a sensitivity setting. So like, when like you use the Judgment's power and you like shoot it off to like a direction,
Yeah.
they can pick their own sensitivity for that as well. So, like, you'll keep your regular sensitivity, but when putting judgment using that power, it'll stack. So you won't lose your current sensitivity. It will just be on top of it, you know? So, like, as soon as you use that power, then that new sensitivity will kick in.
Complete, which is creeping up
Wish
on
us
us,
luck.
which is one of our many
Very
deadlines
quickly.
in the production.
I said wish us luck
But
in
what
other
feature
words.
complete is
Yeah,
basically
Robo.
the product has to be in a testable state for QA to start testing and finding bugs so that we can fix
So
them and
They have to
polish
get used to the
before
settings first,
PTB and
though.
release.
So
Oh,
it might
yeah, of
take
course.
time.
So it's very soon, and so like I said,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
team has been implementing.
That's
like,
true.
I saw
So
an
is,
animation earlier.
PC players as well.
So good.
Yeah.
It was so good. So I'm like super excited
Well,
for
depends
everyone
on when
to
this
see
kid
because I'm
comes
like,
out.
Yeah.
I want to
you
share it.
wanna show.
I can't, but I want to share it.
Maybe they release the PTB
Yeah,
probably.
so the
Ah,
next
true,
thing is,
yeah.
of course, when we move from
What about the
prototype
Survivor, though?
to implementation, because the implementation is built
That
in a much more
mentioned- well, I mean,
robust
I didn't
way, sometimes
watch
it
all
can feel
of
different
this
from the
'cause of,
prototype because the
Saints
prototype
of
is like done quickly
Eight.
and dirty to test things as quickly as
Not
possible.
mentioning who.
So what will happen
Yeah,
often
for
is
Koibo.
that the way a control feels will be slightly different. And so one of the big things that I'll be spending time on is making it feel as closely to the prototype as possible.
Is it streamed?
Because we want
Is
it
the
to feel
video
just
loud
as
enough for
good, right?
everyone?
Yeah.
Because right now, like on the prototype, it's felt really nice, but in the implementation, there will be
Bump it up a
differences
bit.
in the way that it is, just because we have a lot more things to consider and
I never
clean
knew that.
code, I would say.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Never even never even entered my head.
Like
to
I was
be
testing it
honest.
earlier, and it's like it didn't feel as snappy. It didn't feel quite as smooth. And I know the programmer working on it has done a fantastic job at implementing it. It works really nicely. But in terms of controls, there's some adjustments I have to do with the numbers to get back to that feeling.
Okay.
And like from the quick test I did before this blitz of streaming, it already feels good with the number tweaks I did. But yeah, it's just one of those steps that we have to go through.
I'm excited, but I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I always wonder, you message me, I'm fine tuning. I'm like, what are you doing?
It's just adjusting the numbers. And of course, there's going to be lots of playtesting internally with our consultants. Hi, guys. And of course, the external playtesters as well that we have with our user research team. And with all the feedback that we get from those playtests, it helps refine the final product before PTB. And of course, when it hits PTB, you guys help us refine it even more by pointing out, things that work well, things that don't, and the goal is just
Mate,
to have like,
killer
the best
means
killer
this
ever
is going to be
Max.
an absolute W from.
And yeah, I guess that's it. My last bullet point is, like I said, I'll be spending a lot of time fine-tuning the numbers and writing documentation, because that's a lot of what I do, updating docs.
Keeping the records.
Yeah.
Your record keeper like a librarian. Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's it for me.
Well,
that's my update.
Thank you so much, Jeff, and thank you very much for explaining all that. It's been a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to seeing the next steps come to
Jeff. We love Jeff on the
And I can't wait to share more as well.
on the DVD live
Oh,
streams.
definitely. This is not the end you're going to hear.
Like I said,
We're going to be
Jeff.
bringing more.
Don't leave, because there's some really cool stuff
There
about to be
is.
shown on this stream, and I will be going back to my desk to watch it as well. Okay?
Me too.
Cool.
Me too. Well, thank you
right,
for being
thank
with
you.
us. Bye.
Nice.
Stay tuned.
The Grimoire. Yeah, I reckon that killer's going to be a W, If you know how to, like, use it right, mate, it's going to be crazy good.
Yeah, do you know how see what power the fucker is?
Yeah, mate, the killer's going to be proper OP.
There's gonna be loads of the buggers.
Oh, mate, that's instant. Every match is going to be that killer. And I guarantee I'm going to be decked up, We'll just skip this part. There we go.
He's 100% gonna be what's the word? An anti-looper, 100%.
Oh, yeah. Easily is going to be good at destroying loops. 100%.
You won't be able to loop him at all.
Nah, no chance. No way.
Hi everyone.
If you can
Andrea
loop them, I'll
here.
give you-
We're
I'll
still
give you
going to be
100
talking about the
quid.
Grimoire
I'll hold you
more.
wait till that.
First, we're going to give you
Oh, no, I'm
an
fucking
update
joking,
on
but
the
you can
progress
get fucked.
we've made so far with Jake.
Oh, I just realised. I don't know. Wait, was that like that previously? The table is made out of pallets. I just realised. The DVD pallet. I only just clicked on.
For the art direction, but
I was
also
only just
with
clicking on the
Anna,
journal,
who's going to be
click on the
talking
manual.
to us about the VFX
I'm
aspect
not the
of
only
it.
one.
Anna is joining us remotely today. I'm just going to say hi. Hello, Anna. Are you here with us? Yay! Anna's here. Perfect. We're going to get right back to you right after to talk to us a bit about the VFX progress we've made so far. We're also joined by Fred, who's going to talk to us about the theme music you're getting to vote on today. The vote is live. And also Bruno to talk to us about the key art concept that you're also getting to vote on today. So a lot of exciting things, but let's start with you, Jay, to talk to us a bit about the art direction. We voted on a lot of things so far. We've made it this far. So maybe you can give us a bit of an update on how that's going.
Yes.
Because a lot of decisions have been made.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. So I'm super excited to be here today to actually give everybody a glimpse of how we're making the art direction on a gameplay element and developing a killer, essentially.
He sounds
so
a bit
today
French,
we will
doesn't he?
have a little glimpse of concept that we usually do
Frenchy.
when we are
Frenchy.
developing a new killer. Obviously,
Frenchy
because
from
they
the
are
book.
work in
Wait.
progress
No, it's
concept,
not.
these things can actually change while they advance. So today I'm going to share a little glimpse of the development inside how we are making our actual killer. But please keep in mind that these things, when are implemented in game, they can evolve, they can change, and they will evolve with the rest of the game when we start integrating.
Yeah, that's
all
it.
the
Because
assets.
even though the votes are ending today, there's just so much work left to do on our side, behind the scenes, and we'll give you some updates, as we go. But a lot of things are still, bound to change a little bit as we work our magic.
Absolutely. So I think we can start with the first one.
Like they
All
just
right,
focus on
so
it by
here
accident.
we're showing ray of retribution. So this is the concept art that we made to showcase how we want visually the ray of retribution to look. So as you can see, there are different states in them. So the first state is really about the charging. So we are showcasing something that will be a little bit more slower, more refined, essentially.
Oh, okay.
Calmer as well.
Oh, it's kinda
and
cool.
then once we will unleash it, we will actually make it really aggressive and really intense.
Charging
And we can
beam
also see on
items.
the visual
Launch.
that we have this clash between something very, very light and shadows inside of it. This will be important because
What?
it's a theme that
Okay.
Pretty
But
cool.
that's gonna be pretty sick. You can see the shadow of the survivor inside. That would be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, that's like a little cool feature they added.
we
I
will
like that.
actually use quite a lot on the judgment when we will define all the visual. So yeah, this is our plan right now, how we will make the ray of retribution evolve.
Looks great. Very excited to see it in
Yes.
action in the game.
Absolutely. We can look at the next one now. So this is the concept for the scene effect. So I believe this one, we actually already shared a work in progress
Yes.
of that. But here I'm showing the concept that we made initially to show the vision of where we wanted to go. So the scene effect essentially for us, it was a way
love how
to
the
show
name for Dwight
the
is I'm
judgment
drunk.
basically corrupting the survivor, taking possessions of their mind and controlling them essentially. So we wanted to showcase something that has a sort of distortion effect inside of it, but it had to link with the divine as well. So the color palette will actually remind us of Hopeless Exile as well.
Ooh.
So that's something that we will be looking into.
Very exciting.
Thank you.
We're moving on next to the
Yes,
Hopeless
we
Exile.
can look at the next one. So here I'm showing a prototype, so a very early
Hopeless
blackout
Exile.
of level art and level designs for Hopeless Exile. So it gives a little bit of a glimpse of the space we will actually have inside that area. And what we can see here is that we intend to have a big statue of the Judgment be present at the
That's
middle
cool.
as a very imposing element, but it will also serve as a landmark so that player can orient themselves within the space there. So
Yes.
something
I don't know how true it is, but apparently, if the judgment takes you here, apparently it'll shoot down lights of beams, beams of light, and you have to dodge them whilst going through here. I don't know how it works entirely, but yeah, apparently that's what is gonna happen when you get dragged into that place.
important to note as well about Hopeless
Hello,
Exile
I mean,
is
interesting
that on our
concept, to be fair.
direction, we
Oh,
are really
very,
pushing
yeah.
forward two big
Really
themes
interesting.
here, which are essentially the same theme that we were
Just
going for.
go see how
with
annoying
No
it is when it comes
Judgment.
out.
So the first one
True.
is the divine
True.
aspect. We want Hopeless Exile to
If it
be
is annoying or
feel
not.
like a paradise, a perfect place, essentially. And this was essentially the vote that we made on Hopeless Exile with the community. They help us essentially choose how
Well, this might be a
visually we
vibe.
represent that.
True.
And the other
It
aspect
should be interesting.
of Hopeless Exile that we were looking into was the horror part, because we are DVD and we need that
Absolutely.
horror side of thing. So here it's the cosmic horror side of thing that we want to inject within Hopeless Exile. And we were doing that with telling a little bit the story of the space, in a sense that Hopeless Exile, as a first look, looks like the perfect place. But when you look carefully inside, you realize that Hopeless Exile is actually built by the victim of the judgment, and they are essentially stuck and agonizing there inside that space. So that's something that's really important for us in the art direction side, and we will be able to show more of that moving forward with that.
Hence the hopeless and hopeless exile,
yes.
you know.
It's supposed to be like, we really want that space to feel like it's a paradise. It's perfect, but at the same time, you have that conflicting feeling that I want to get out of here. This is not a safe space.
Something's going on here.
Exactly. There's some weird thing happening, and I'm uncomfortable being here, essentially.
That looks great. Very excited to see the final product.
Yeah, and we can look into some of more details about Hopeless Exile that we were moving forward. So here we're seeing our concept for the artifact. So
Hopeless Exile artifact.
I can't be
Player
fucking do it.
points
So I just
item
go and
towards
do it for me.
collectible. Item
That's how much
absorbs
I
the
can't be fucked.
collectible as if it was
puzzle.
vacuum in it. Collectible disintegrates as it falls to the ground. It despawns. Ah, okay. So I'm guessing we have to try and get our hands on an artifact, which we'd have to point it towards a collectible. By the looks of it, to destroy it is what I'm getting from that. But would that be within that place that it drags you to? I wonder. Honestly, this is gonna be a very interesting killer, to be honest.
the artifact is essentially the item that you use when you get to Hopeless
That will be
Exile to
interesting.
collect what we internally
Literally.
call crystals.
They've honestly
So
got
the
the
idea
most
here is
stream
that artifact will be
I
found
see
by
this
the
as stream
survivor the moment he will land into that space. I don't want to talk too much about where that artifact comes from. I can just give a glimpse that it's connected in some way to Aurora, our new survivor. So the survivor will find that item and will essentially use it to absorb the crystals that are inside Hopeless Exile to be able to get out of that space.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna need the artifact. We'll have to destroy the collectibles to actually get out of that place and get back onto the map. That's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be very interesting.
We don't want to reveal too much
No,
just
exactly.
yet. There's
That's
more
what
to
we gotta
come
do for
closer
it.
to
Yeah,
the
that's what
PTB
the
and
whole
release.
part of the
That's very
artifact
exciting.
is.
And we give them just enough, to look forward to it.
Exactly. And now we can look a little bit more into detail
Not too bad,
at
that.
what we internally
Yeah, it's
call
kind of
the
interesting.
crystals. So these here, we
Ball
call
of
them
light,
crystals because they were
lights
the collectible that we
from
were
shade.
essentially gathering with the artifact inside Hopeless Exile. In reality, they're not really crystals. We will redefine them while we are advancing on the production. But what we're doing here is to showcase that these entities are essentially living creatures inside Hopeless Exile, stuck inside these statues and divine elements. And the survivor is essentially freeing these people that are stuck inside Hopeless Exile and helping them essentially escape. So we're twisting the crystal analogy to something that's related a little bit more with the story of the judgment and its environment.
I think it's really interesting, to see the process of taking all of these votes and building not only the visual, but how it ties back to the narrative. That we haven't revealed, everything just yet, but it's just like the depth, it gets more and more developed over time. It's really
Exactly.
interesting.
Yeah. And I have one last thing that I would like to share with everybody. It is the concept for the hazards that are inside Hopeless Exile. So have you seen, as you've seen with the prototype,
Cracks appear and grows, blood gushes out of cracks. Yeah, so if I'm correct, those are the things you've got to dodge whilst you're actually in that other place. if you get hit by it, I'm pretty sure it's going to injure you. So this is going to be an interesting one.
It depends how BS they made it to where they can constantly keep coming at you.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
does
it.
it spawn randomly throughout the map, or does it follow you, or?
Well, from what I've seen, as they've released a bit of like the gameplay, in the making, apparently that it just keeps shooting random lights down there whilst you have to try and like destroy those collectibles to escape. So it's going to be a bit intense, I think.
We have a lot of these collision elements that were appearing, and you had to
Yeah,
dodge them
gaming's supposed to be
essentially
fun and
while
all
you
that.
were
Now you're gonna
collecting,
get stressed out now trying to
your,
escape
artifacts. So
exile.
what I'm showing
Oh,
here is
yeah.
our intention in terms of visual to define what are essentially these pillars. And as I was saying earlier, Hopeless Exile is a space about people suffering inside the wall that have built that space. And what we're essentially showcasing here is that these hazards will be a visual indication of people essentially descending upon the realm and getting stuck inside the wall of Hopeless Exile. So you around you will be surrounded that people that the judgment has brought inside that space and stuck inside the Hopeless Exile. So we have a different chronology here on the concept to show the starting element. So essentially the ground will sort of crack divinely, and we will show blood of people stuck inside of it that are coming out. And then after the beam will essentially descend into that crack to trap people inside of it.
So in short, you're working on making the Hopeless Exile feel really hopeless.
Yes, we really want that space to have that duality between it's divine, it's perfect, but it also is quite horrific. And this is all elements that we're working on individually to build all of that together and make something super interesting.
I know we gave players an update, very recently in our latest blog post, but I think it's really, really cool that we get to see a bit more here during, the stream. Before we move on, to the VFX, do you have anything you want to share about the process so far of turning all of these votes, into the visuals and maybe where we are right now? How has that gone?
Yeah, so right now we're working with all the votes we've got, and we're building everything we need to build essentially to have that killer be finalized and everything. Sorry. So right now we are
just
we're
lost our
working
man on
the
stream.
models. So because we had the vote on the character, we are working super hard to
We
actually
were-
produce them. In
We
3D
just lost
because
our man on stream and we just
obviously
choked.
we'll need them to be seen in the game and everything. So this is a big part of the focus that we're
Man was
doing
just
right
lost.
now. And next to that, we are working on the concept that I just told you. So today was
Man
a
was
glimpse
just lost his
of
life on
what
stream.
we are all working on, but there's still a lot of different elements that need a visual art direction. That we're continuing to progress on that. So these are other concepts that we are producing right now to define the full package that the judgment will be.
Very exciting. A lot of work left to do on the visual side of things, but we'll make sure to give our players updates as we go. The votes might be ending. Today might be the last vote, but we'll make sure that we keep you updated as, how the Grimoire progresses and give you, a little bit of a look behind the scenes. But yeah, thank you so much, Jay, for coming today to show us, a bit more of what we're working on. And this is actually great because now that we've talked about the art direction, we can pass it off to Anna to,
Let's
talk us a
go
bit more about the visual effects. And, now that we have the art direction, can you maybe, tell us a bit
it might
more
look
about
sick,
what work you have already done and, what's going to be coming next?
Yeah, for sure. So
Streamer alert.
this killer is really VFX heavy. I don't know if that's really
think I've
obvious to
seen her
people looking
sway.
from
Yeah, it
the other
does
side
ring a
of
bell,
things.
doesn't it?
But the first thing that is the priority is the Ray of Retribution, so the pillar for the killer. We do have a slide to share the progress of the pillar. So I'm not sure if production can bring up that slide. I can start talking about the pillar. But this is probably the most complicated effect that we have for the judgment, because I think there's about 21 different elements to get this pillar to work. And I would just like to say, disclaimer, this is not final. This is very, very early, but I've been working very hard to get a first pass in to show everyone. And the program I'm working with, Daniel, has also been helping me get this pillar to work. There's a lot of different states that the pillar has to be in, where it's controlling, is it canceling controlling, is it flung, and we still have to tackle the empowered state, but it's coming along. You might notice that like it looks a little different than most of the VFX in DVD, and that's because we had to kind of approach this effect to make sure that we fit all the technical constraints. We worked early on with the rendering team to figure out the best way to approach how to have a giant, like, technically translucent object that's going to be covering the screen. So we wanted to make sure we could make it look good and also not drop performance for the players and hitch out and be able to like not miss the pillar when it flies by you. But so I feel like the style is a bit stylized for the VFX, which is really cool to be working on because it's a new challenge for me. And Jay and his team did a wonderful job coming up with the concepts, and I think it looks pretty cool so far. So as I said, really early, but it's progressing.
Really cool, I gotta say.
Hmm.
It looks amazing.
That's gonna be interesting. That.
Maybe we want to show a bit of the sin.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
Cool little
you
concept.
just saw the concept. Jay
Yeah, that's kinda
shared.
cool.
So
It's
my
unique.
integration of this is going to be a little bit different. But
Oh
I've been
hell nah! You tell me we got that four-legged thing coming after us? You mad?
working closely with Jay
Fire.
to get the feeling right. To
Spoiler.
kind of fit shape, communication, and color. So this is the sin on the Survivor so far. It's supposed to represent the exile. I tried my best to be able to represent all three colors of it. I think it's coming through, but it's kind of intended to feel like you're losing your mind a little bit, like there's chaos happening and you're confused. So I designed the material for the effect to kind of spin around, so it kind of made these spikes go really chaotic, and we also have like a random like sign calculation on the scale of the particle and then on the rotation, so it's constantly shaking and scaling up. So I'm hoping that the intention that Jay was trying to get is going to come across with the VFX, but so far it's pretty strong. And given that we have the new changes with the sin, so it will decay over time, I'll be iterating on it still, but it's a pretty good base so far.
It looks amazing. I also think it's really interesting to see, Jay talked a little bit about, the art direction and, the how we get to those visuals, and how we get to that idea based on all the votes we've had, and also based on, the conversations we have internally, but also seeing how you're bringing this to life through visual effects is also really interesting. And it's something I don't think we've really ever shown to our players for past releases, because we didn't really get to. But with the grimoire, we really get to walk them through that process of taking all these elements that we've voted on, taking all these different things and putting them together to really breathe life into in this case a new killer and a new survivor.
Yeah, for sure. I'm hoping that players understand that VFX can be sometimes a little abstract to get, but the art direction's so cool, so I'm really excited to continue working on it.
Yeah, and even it's really, like you mentioned, it's a bit abstract because it's something that you don't necessarily think about when it's happening behind the scenes. But here we really get to see the process of bringing it to life, and also how important it is to the gameplay, because when you're playing, when you're going through a trial, you don't necessarily think, oh, this is this is visual effects, this is something I'm seeing, but it's giving you so much information about what's going on around you, and what's happening, and feedback as well about, in this case, sin or things like that. So it's a really important element of tied to the gameplay as well.
For sure, yeah.
And maybe you can tell us a bit more about what we're going to work on next. There's still a lot of things coming, still a lot of things we got to work on to bring this chapter to life.
Yes, so there's definitely a lot to continue working on next. As I said, it's very VFX heavy killer, so my next focus is working on the Exile assets. So I do have a little sneak peek video of that if we want to share. The Exile hazards that Jay shared in his concept, and the crystals. So this is just a test. This is nowhere near final, but I ran a test to kind of lerp the emissive color on the crystals' faces to show that you're in a distance to absorb them. So it was a test that I was running for tech art, so we could try and get the most
Oh,
optimal way to
Alex.
do it
Oh,
without having
God.
to make it really expensive. And these are the hazards. So I only put these in, I think, 2 days ago, so they're very early. But yeah, these are what you're going to be dodging when you're in the exile.
Oh, no.
Getting the suffering victim faces is going to be something that we'll have to iterate on. It's definitely not going to be easy to do, and we've already been coming up with possible ideas to make it more obvious, but they are starting to look really cool, and I'm hoping that by the time we ship, it'll look really, really fantastic.
That's great. Thank you so much, Anna, for joining us today.
Okay, I'm just going to say it right now, right? Just from that part alone of having to dodge those beams of light, that is going to be such a pain.
Oh yeah,
Even
100%.
even she said it's going to be difficult. Like, what do you mean? We don't need it to be more difficult than it already is, man.
It's gonna be horrible.
We're so
yeah.
grateful. I know you're joining us remotely, and it's a little bit different. But thank you for joining us and for talking through the VFX with us and all the progress we've made so far.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
This was great, and we'll make sure to give players more updates about what's coming on the side of VFX. We've already done so through a lot of blog posts and a lot of updates, but I think there's still a lot to show in terms of visual effects about what's coming. So even though the votes
For sure.
this is our last vote, we'll make sure that players get to see what's working, what we're working on, and what's going on behind the scenes.
Awesome. I can't wait.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And we're going to move on now to the votes. The votes we have today, the votes you can actually vote on right now. And we're going to start with you, Fred, to talk a little bit about the music. This is a bit different because, a lot of the votes we've had, we got to see a little bit throughout the process. Our votes sometimes we gave them a little bit of a preview, an early look, but the music really is something that players only get to see now. So it's very fresh. It's something that is very unique that they haven't really seen before for the Grimoire. So maybe you can tell us a bit more about the process behind creating the theme music and how that ties back to all the votes and everything we've had before.
Yes. Like you said, it's unique, and we have our own challenge. But let's start with the normal process. What I do usually for killers. Normally, I try to find the personality, what is unique to a killer. Each killer has his own theme music, and I need to link that theme with the character, the personality. And so we have to answer a lot of questions, like the origin, is that specific country, maybe sometimes is already attached to a specific style of music, trickster, by example. So we need to get all those information. But with the Grimoire, that was a challenge because a lot of answers was not answered. So what's the good time to start working on the music? And we have to start because we have to deliver the music at a certain point. So there's a lot of little challenge like that in the process. So that was a learning experience. I really liked it. In all the normal process, we identify the killer, can also identify the gameplay. Is that an aggressive killer? Is that a quiet killer, like stealthy? Is that a loud killer or not? We can choose different kind of instrument based on that. So next step, what's the instruments we will use? What the style of the music, if it's not determined by the a link to the music. So and then I call my composer, Michel F. April, awesome composer, do a great job. And we talk together, and then we involve in that. We make that direction involving something really unique and with his own identity. So we did that. Another challenge with the Grimoire was that, okay, it's good to be inspired with all the good visual that we see, but we have to be inspired 3 times. Because we have to propose a choice.
Yes.
So Yeah, it tripled the production. So, but it was challenging, but it was super interesting to do it 3 times and work on it. So I'm super happy. I'm glad to be part of the grimoire to have a choice to the player, because I really like that relation with the players. It's unique, like you said. It's super unique. I mean, they will choose the theme.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's amazing.
So yes, so that's the process that where we are right now, and starting from that, we will make the Terrigious and then also the Survivor music and all the rest of the music, because always all the Terrigious are based. The start point is the menu, the killer menu theme music. So we always start like that. Sometimes it's the instrument. So that work is not done yet. So we're waiting the choice.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. This will define a lot still
the
for the chapter and the sounds, of the chapter, and because you do need everything to be cohesive at the end of the day.
So what I'm quite intrigued by at the minute is the fact that they haven't actually mentioned nothing about the Survivor nor the picks. It's mainly about the concept of the killer they come up with, which is kind of
Maybe there's
interesting.
none.
Yeah, it must be community stream. It must be just dedicated then to the killer, I'm guessing, for now.
Really not only sell, the.
Because what I'll do
we're
is,
not.
I'll end stream after this, because I know I got bang and edit, gonna.
What you do? What you do?
Yeah, got bang and edit again. But what I'll do is I'll check out one thing after this, and I'll end streaming.
Just selling the fantasy of a killer or a survivor, but of this new almost world we're introducing to the fog. So it's just we do need it to be cohesive and to make a lot of sense. And maybe you can talk a little bit about the process of were you trying to propose 3 very different musics, or were you trying to kind of still have something similar for all 3? What was the process when because you did say it's very unique, you had to come up with 3 themes. What does that look like?
Yeah, exactly. It's not we get inspired and we start with that point and we create music. No, it's all different instruments, all different approach. It could be more religious and God, and then cosmic horror, and so there's different style that we had to find really unique and really different, because it's you don't choose a difference between it's 3 different music. So. Yes, in that process, we when I talked with Michel, it was okay. Starting with this direction, what could be the music and the style? Next one and next one. So really 3 distinct music.
And were did you follow a bit the process over time? Because this has been a year, almost a year and a half long process. Did you follow the process over time a little bit to kind of get inspiration early on, or did you really want to go into it, almost blind, only with the votes that we, what we, were the point we've reached now?
Half of it, because in both sides, because normally I start with pre-production and I have enough information, but that unknown from the votes, it was okay. Should I wait? Should I not wait? So I did both. So at some point I was ready, but I was waiting some information to be confirmed.
You need to start thinking about it. You need to put yourself in the world of the grimoire, but then you also need to wait to be able to capture the votes of the players. So it's a balance between the 2. That's great. So maybe you can tell us what players can expect from the 3 themes they get to vote on.
It's a preview. That's a preview of the 3 themes. So it's 20 seconds each. So I don't want to say my preference. I want them to vote and let me know. I'm super thrilled to see the result. Maybe I guess right, maybe not. I don't know. So I'm super thrilled. Yes. So
we've very often been surprised, we, internally we do talk about, the votes and what we think, but many times we're surprised by what ends up being, the winner. And something that a lot of the devs have mentioned too is that, when we proposed 3 themes, we really proposed 3 themes we would love to see in the game. So even though some of us may have, oh, we want theme A, theme B, theme C, or like, all of these things, we're excited either way. We're really excited whatever choice we see being picked. So
we will respect the vote. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And it's going to become, very defining for the chapter. So we're going to play those for you if you haven't listened to them yet. And thank you so much for joining us today, Fred, to talk a bit about the music. And we're going to give you, if you haven't voted yet, we're going to give you a preview of the 3 themes you will get to vote on. So thank you.
Ooh, okay. So we get to vote on the music. Oh, well, B was good, wasn't it? They pretty skipped it. There we go. Now they fixed it. Ooh, oh. Do you know what? I like B more than A. Ooh, B is way better than A. I don't know, I think I like B,
Yeah, B sounded absolutely banging, to be fair.
Yeah, B sounded immense. C's not bad, but I don't know, I think B stands out more, like.
Honestly, I'm okay with all 3. I don't know about you, Bruno.
Yeah, I have a preference, but
We don't say anything. We don't say anything.
It's B.
say anything.
We're going to let you vote. You need to vote. You need to tell us what you want to see. And then we can talk about what you prefer behind the scenes. But yeah, honestly, I would be excited about either
So
of them.
good.
Yeah, very, very excited to see them in the game. But enough about music.
Yeah.
Because you're here to talk to us about the key art players get to vote on today. And maybe before we talk about the 2 options, maybe you can walk us through the process of creating a key art behind a chapter, because that's something that's very defining for a chapter.
Yeah, it's very defining for a chapter, and it's something that we do, like in marketing, we do that like each chapter, and we are going through basically 3 main things before creating a key image. So we see the eye-level chapter presentation, which is like just a big presentation of all the things that we are going to work on this chapter. So who is the survivor? What are they about? Where are they from? What's the references and everything? Same thing about the killer, same thing about the map, if there is a map or something like that. After that, we see the eye-level chapter narrative. So sometimes there's lore related to that, and there's a lot of things that we can learn about those characters that can inspire us to do anything. Like there's like any reference is very good at that moment because we don't know anything at that moment. And after that, also, we see early concept, like production concepts that they are doing in the first few weeks after the presentation. And it's really eye-opening where you see like, okay, where is this going exactly? And where am I going with that key art and this imagery? And also we are working on a key art, but we're also thinking about trailers, thinking about like all the ways we're gonna communicate about this game to you, the players. So we're starting with that. And after that, if I'm segueing into the Grimoire, it's going into that. Like we are starting with a lot of references. So thinking about everything that has been taught to us about that character. So we thought about the killer and we were like, okay, like we are like, is this angelic, demonic? Is this like divine or anything? Like there was many teams. There was like all those teams surrounding the killer, which were very interesting. And there was dark side and light side, which was very interesting as well, because you don't know yet, like, oh, we're going dark or are we going light? And as you can see on the left, we were really inspired by old Baroque painting, Tenebrism and stuff like that, angels. We are also interested in what is done in most recent art for like angels, divine beasts, and stuff like that. So we were looking at all of that in colors and everything, and we're really inspired, like way inspired about this, and seeing the reaction of the players online also, and them like just like thinking about all those things about that new killer and that new survivor really got our creative juices up. So it was like really cool process to be a part of, because also we are never creating a key art this way specifically. Like normally we know a lot more. Now we like Fred said, like I mentioned before, like there's little by little information that you get, so it can change, it can become something else. So we adapted to that, and we had a broad image of it all. So after that, concept phase. So we went into a concept phase, and at home, like you all see, you all have seen those images. Maybe some you didn't see before, but we were pretty focused on what we were going to do. The only thing that wasn't like necessarily like is this or that. We were wondering about that killer, how we would show the killer during in the key art, because like you have a limited amount of space. You need to show like those big full wings, and you need to show also like those like crab spider legs and the ornaments on the legs and everything. There's a lot of detail on that character, and also the power, like everything that character does. And after that, how do you show the survivor? Is she praising that killer? Is she afraid of that killer? Is she surprised? So we went in many different directions, but I think like one thing that is like very surprising about the vote until now is that they went like they went like the way like we would like to, because like I was like, I hope this wins, like it's so good. So they went this way. I'm really happy with the votes. But anyway, at the beginning, we knew that there was something very special about this. And this is still very early work, by the way. It's not in any way finished, and it still needs a lot of details.
I'm not gonna lie, I was like watching this
in it.
I generally forgot I was watching your stream, and I looked at the bottom.
Yes.
And I seen, I was like, let's grow together for affiliate. I'm like, what? Did we tell like there's another affiliate yet?
This option, which is
baffled me like for a second.
Approach. So really going towards something
we got smacked that, and never do like there's another affiliate
ominous, and
man was
going
about to be
into
outright
that,
flabbergasted.
It's like an angel. It's an angel of death, but
out
it's
of every
like
single company, everything like should have had affiliate. And I was like, no shot, they don't have it. I realized I was watching your stream.
On the other side,
this guy.
we are going with kind of a light
I was just
option.
like
So
diabolically
everything
gobsmacked.
feels angelic and everything and divine.
And that hunger, I
you're
forgot.
like, oh my god! It's like, is this going to save me, or is this going to do something else? So two very different approach, both anchored in horror, but one maybe more into the divine aspect of things, and the other more into that horror aspect of things. But I think both have a very interesting approach, and it's mostly in colors now. And after that, of course, we're gonna work on the pose, the details, and everything that needs to get into that image to get it out. But we can't wait to see what the players will vote. It's really exciting for us. So yeah.
Very excited to see. And it's really interesting to see too that, you know, even with the key art, those two different options you mentioned, one is really like tenebrous and it's like very dark and there's no hope, and the other one is more about this almost false sense of security, because it's angelic, and it's really interesting to see how even these choices continue to define a little bit more the world of the chapter and the world of the grimoire, and which direction are we going in, and what does that tell us about the killer, what does that tell us about their backstory and things like that. So it's really fascinating to see, and very, very excited.
The story unfolds before us. It's so cool to see that.
It's really cool, and it's very unique because it's not something we've really done before. Maybe you can tell us a bit more about, like you've talked a bit about the process, and how was it different this time, really almost having players at the table with us, making those decisions. How did that impact, the process for you? Because a lot of, the, like Fred and even, Jeff mentioned it today, and even, it's just, we have to take all of these choices into account, and that is a big challenge, one that is so exciting to take on, but how did that really affect, the process for you?
It's very different because it's kind of like, it's like having a good conversation with a friend. You don't know what they are going to say, and you don't know how they're going to react to something, so we kind of like put this out, and after that, like, just wait for an answer, and we're like okay, what's going to be the answer? And also, we're not alone into waiting that answer. Like, the whole department that are working on this, they are waiting like eagerly to get answers. So it's kind of like there's a challenge to just the unknown, because we do not know what will happen. But at the same time, we had a base to work on, so that was interesting. But while creating a key art, it's really hard because you are creating something that needs to evoke what the whole chapter means. So it can change with an expression, it can change with a pose, it can change with colors. So basically, the players are now deciding of that, and I think it's exciting, it's challenging, but I really love that challenge, because it just like we're always on that edge, like, oh, what's going to happen? But yeah, there was no deception. Like, everything went really great, and I love the process and just the sheer surprise of it all.
I think you really, put your finger on it, which is like it feels like having a conversation with a friend, because the players are really in there with us, and it's a really fun interaction that we're having, where we're asking them to go on this journey with us, and we're really asking them to make these decisions with us, because we want to know, and it happens with every chapter. We always want to know, what do you think about this? We're always so excited to release them, because we're like, oh my God, we can't wait to see what they're going to think. But this time, they're part of that process with us, so we get to ask them, as we move forward. So it's great.
Oh, it's so fun.
Very, very exciting. But to go back to what you said, we're having a conversation with a friend. So now it's time for our friends to vote.
Yes.
Cast your votes. And if you didn't know, the vote is live. So they can vote right now. You can vote directly on Twitch. If you want to, you can also vote on the Grimoire website. If you don't have access to the link, you can go directly on our official social channels, where you'll have the link on all of them. And we want to know. We want to know what you think. This is again the last vote. This is it. This is your last opportunity to cast your vote. Let us know what you think, and what you want to see in the game. And it's an exciting one. It's the last one, but it's not the least one. So very, very exciting, very important. So please do vote. And I think that's the end. That brings us to the end. Thank you so much for joining us today on stream. We're actually going to be rating Connor Sparky, which we actually got to meet at HorrorCon.
Well, that's going to be a W then. I'm very intrigued by that.
So Demi, no shot.
Demi. That's what I was looking for. The Grimoire opens one last time. Vote now. I go. So we're gonna create. Oh, you actually click on it? Oh, so you click on it to vote? Okay, that's kind of cool. I sort of like the light theme of it, can't I? I sort of like. I do like the light. The dark looks cool. Oh, the light. I don't know, man. I think I have to go for the light. The light looks pretty damn cool. Oh, the music. Yeah, boy. Has to be B in it. Has to be B. Nah, it's gotta be B. Very well. Cast vote. Nice. Yeah, that's a W, bro. But yeah, I think it's safe to say we can end it here. And then that can be uploaded as a VOD. Maybe we can even put it on YouTube. Maybe. Alright, let's end it here. Beautiful, babe. Let's see, we're gonna need to. Oh, wrong one. We're gonna need to take that one off. And then we're gonna need to boot.